really serious. I think that's a good idea.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing.
No story?
No, forget the story.
You gotta have a story.
Who says you gotta have a story?
Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. Some men just want to watch the mind bout.
Instead, only try to realize the truth. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
I'll tell you what it's worth. Not a damn thing. It's a waste of time.
Welcome to Frivolous Fandom with Mike and Kev. I'm Mike.
I'm Kev.
Let's get into some nerd stuff.
Today we have some very special guests for a very special reason.
Super special.
We have a couple podcast veterans. Introduce yourself, starting from my lefternmost to my less lefternmost.
You have to take on faith that the person speaking is to his lefternmost.
Trust me, I'm the
Super
left.
left, actually. It's really left.
I don't throw around the term lefternmost lightly, okay?
This is serious business. I'm the left and most.
That's a big weight to carry, man.
He's basically communist.
Yeah, I'm carrying the torch over here. I'm Kiemoe Madrid. I've been on the podcast once before. I'm back with a vengeance.
He's done with the BS.
I mean, realistically, you were on for so long that we're just going to round up to 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
about 2.
You're on 2 weeks worth of podcasts. And then John was, you were literally on 2 different podcasts.
Yeah, I was literally on 2 different podcasts.
So you have
And
that
they
vengeance.
amounted to less screen time than Kiemoe.
Well, there's a story behind that.
But yeah, so we got John and Kiemoe back on the show once again. And for a good reason, because these guys are actually going to start a Let's Play series, I guess you could call it. You know, you have your Frivolous Fandom podcast. You also have your Senseless Stream Let's Play series. I know it's not really going to be streamed, but whatever.
I mean, if you want, we could. We have the ability to.
We have the technology.
potential, yeah. If you guys decide you need, like, unedited versions, then I guess, we could go through just the raw stream.
Oh, well, they're not ready. They're not ready for an edit.
I don't think they can handle it.
No.
But, yeah, guys, tell them a little bit about the, we actually just recorded the first. I'm in it just to help, like, segue you guys into the into the website, but, like, you guys will be doing your own thing. Tell them a little bit about what you guys are trying to do.
Sure, yeah. Senseless Streams, it seems to be kind of just like games that have been looked over in some sort of way, right? Like, we like doing something weird, something engaging, mostly story-wise, something that, like, not only will people watching it want to tune in and see what happens next to the characters, but, you know, something that we'll want to look in on. Something that we haven't maybe looked at before.
Would you say you guys have a little bit of extra patience with games than the average gamer?
We have to take it nice and slow for some of these games because, well, the pacing on, at least on the first one we done, is kind of slow.
Yeah.
But the game itself is great. Like, it's really interesting, the story-wise.
Right.
But just the actual gameplay is just slow, but
Oh,
it's great.
Yeah, I think it was a good one to kick off with, because
Yeah.
it was about 4 hours, which we all completed in one night.
Yeah.
And the night started kind of late, too.
Yeah.
One night of being really tired.
We didn't realize how late we started until the end. Oddly enough, like, dang, we need to not start this when we started it.
Yeah.
We all know how that feels.
Yeah, so they don't necessarily have to be, short games like we completed one night. We can do it since they're going to be episodic anyways.
We have some
tackle
plans
big
already in the
works.
in the works of what we're gonna play.
Absolutely.
Some irons in the fire.
You guys are going there. Like,
Something on deck.
I just
Yeah.
feel like, at least in today's life, there's so many video games, you can't play them all.
But you can watch them.
Right. Oh, yeah,
Yes, you can.
exactly.
Yes, you can.
You can watch
Yeah.
them because it's just something that you can kind of put on. Like, you don't necessarily have to just do that. Like,
Yeah.
you could be doing homework. I mean, I don't recommend this to the kids. Actually, I do. Because homework is boring. Just put on video games in the background.
How can you watch people play video games?
Oh, man.
That's boring.
Yeah, we won't go into that discussion.
That's another podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know. We've already done that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll probably do that podcast again before all is said and done. So, with you guys being the video gamers of our site, we thought it'd be fitting to do a video game topic for the cast. And I think this feeds into it a little bit of the kind of games that you guys will be playing. But today's topic, we're going to talk about the best games in our minds and our totally subjective opinions that aren't fun.
Yes.
Because we should link extra credits again. We've linked them before.
Yes, we
but
have.
he talking about he talked about a lot of games or video games in general are considered fun, or like that's what you play them. They're fun.
You think they're fun.
Yeah,
You
right.
think they're
I mean, it's a game.
They're designed
right? Yeah,
to be
it's a
fun.
video game. A game is played to be fun, right? Well,
Said no one who played chess ever.
well, it's fun demoralizing your opponent, but like the game itself. No, I like chess, but I like video game chess, kind of like aka StarCraft.
Yeah, Chess Master.
That analogy almost kind of.
I just love it
fits, I guess, in a way.
when the queen has an area of effect attack. It's just so awesome to do that.
Like, the reason it doesn't fit is because in chess you all have the same pieces, but it's like, if I'm Zerg and you're Terran, we don't have the same pieces.
Nope.
I mean, we have pieces that are anti-air pieces, but like, there's so much variation. Anyways, what are we talking about again?
I think we're talking about Sci-Boss.
yeah. So, games that aren't necessarily fun, because let's be honest, like, at least today where games have come to, they're not all designed to be fun.
Yeah.
There are different,
Yeah.
like there are movies that are like, there's some that are meant to be fun or funny, but then there's some that are meant to make you think or like stress you out.
Yeah, make
Yeah,
you
different
feel
feelings.
something.
Different
Yeah.
feelings.
Right, yeah. The exact same thing goes for games. So guys, what, why would you play a game if not for fun?
Yeah.
Masochism.
So many different reasons.
And besides masochism, but I think that plays
Masochism is up there.
right, absolutely.
No, yeah, it's a really interesting time.
That's like, why would you watch Grey's Anatomy? It's not for fun. It's for masochism.
Nope.
But yeah, like what are some other reasons?
I'd say games. They're in such like a interesting spot. Right now games can be like intriguing and engaging for other reasons.
Yeah, like they have really in-depth stories nowadays.
Yeah.
So you get really pulled into it,
Yeah.
and you like individual characters and whatnot. It's like reading a novel or watching a show that you really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of on the level of like Hollywood. I mean, I don't know if it's quite has the same funding now, but it's getting there. Like, games are so cinematic now. I mean, that was why Uncharted was such a big deal. I mean, that game actually was for fun.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really fit in this conversation, but just in terms of the fact that it was like such a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
So now they've kind of found out how, like, with Heavy Rain, games like that, like, where they're literally going for cinematic experience in a game.
Yeah.
Well, that's the great thing about the advent of technology becoming more and more available to the public to make those kind of games. We don't have to worry about only AAA companies having that. Now we have to, now Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Like the hardware capabilities are so advanced that like it doesn't take CG is not as crazy as it once was. And especially too with even the amount of space they have, like just in general.
Yeah.
On like discs or like if you're on Steam, I think the game could be as big as you want as the people are willing to download.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So
There's
there's
talks
not,
like Star Wars. What was that Star Wars game? The one where you're the bad guy, or like the
Force Unleashed.
Force
Yeah.
Unleashed. Yeah, I remember there was talks about that game being
I was gonna say KOTOR has a bad
close
guy,
to like
man.
100 gigs, like ridiculous
gosh.
size. Because on PC they just like let everything out. They didn't try and like
Right.
condense
Compress, yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You didn't have like a Final Fantasy 13 situation where they cut out 60% of the game so it
Oh,
can
yeah.
fit on HD DVDs.
The funny thing is that just came out on PC.
That's
Yeah.
Did it?
That game just
that
came out on
slapping noise
PC.
you guys heard was Kevin facepalm.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
That would be sick if Final Fantasy 13 came out for PC with all the content they cut out originally. That would be sick.
That would be
I would
crazy,
play that
yeah.
game. So yeah, like we're saying, there's obviously other things you get out of games. I mean, there's just, if it's a difficult game, usually it's satisfaction. Like, the satisfaction you get from beating it is kind of like that accomplishment. It's not necessarily like, oh, that was a blast.
Well, now the social aspect of games is, in my opinion, king at this point. Like, it's the most important factor for every major selling game now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah. I mean,
Online's such a huge deal.
Yeah.
like,
Much to the detriment, which we've actually touched on before.
right. It's kind of like the way I like set it as an example is it's the exact opposite of for fun games, because there's a lot of games that are literally just silly, you goof off, and there is no point necessarily to it, no story, things like that. And so the examples that jump to mind, like Little Big Planet, that game I didn't play for any other reason than I could be silly. Like,
You can build stuff.
and if
There's no
you look
plot.
at who I played it with my, you guys know him, people listening won't, but my friend Justin, who's a goofball. Like, that's like really the only person I ever had. And then
Dingledorf's man.
me and John over here, actually, I forgot, we played Little Big
Dingledorf's
Planet too. Yeah, there's these little guys in Little Big Planet too that follow you around John called Dingledorf, so I don't know what that comes from. But we were like just throwing them at each other, and then like kidnapping each other's Dingledorfs, and then like not beating the level. And so it's like, I guess there is a way to beat quote unquote Little Big Planet, but really it had all the tools to design your levels.
Yeah,
like
you
it was-
make your own fun.
Yeah, exactly. How much fun you have with it is dependent on your imagination. Other games are like GTA. I mean, you can beat that game, so it's not exclusively just for fun. But raise your hand, and I want you listeners to raise your hand too, if you've ever just played GTA with no real point, to just go around
Yeah,
and
everyone's
kill
hand should be
whoever
up
you
for that.
see, drive wherever you want, like cause mayhem.
Golf cart.
If online counts, then
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And I mean, like, those games were never like great story-driven games. Like 4 might have been like 4 had like a kind of a cool story, but like for the most part, I don't know about you guys, but the story in GTA has never been super.
That's
compelling.
never the strong.
Honestly, that might be why
That's
I
not the
really
last
like Red
thing.
Dead, and I'm not a big GTA fan. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
Because it
like
has some of the same like appeal of like you can do whatever.
Yeah, I liked Red Dead a lot.
But Red Dead actually, I mean, it was a nice.
Well,
really
Redemption.
cool-
I like Red Dead Redemption. a lot.
Sorry, yeah.
I like
Red Dead Revolver's a
too.
sick game.
I like it. I like them all.
But story versus let's be honest. 95% of the time spent on GTA has got to be just like derping around.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And like I tell everyone this, the most fun I've had playing a video game, I think since I was a kid, was the first night I got on GTA Online. I played with John over here. It was pretty late when we started playing.
Wait, was
but-
this in the apartment?
Yeah, this was at the apartment.
I remember that night.
Me and John were just playing GTA 5 online, and I don't even know. The best thing we ever did was we stole a helicopter, flew up to as high as you can over the highest peak. Is like the tallest mountain in GTA 5 is well away from Los Santos, like where the bulk of the game takes place. But you could see Los Santos faintly, but eventually you couldn't because we were over the cloud level. So we were like, let's see if we can parachute all the way to Los Santos. So we both bail out of the helicopter and we parachute. And we made it to Los Santos and landed on a skyscraper, and it took at least 10 minutes or more.
It was
I
a
would
good
say.
journey.
It was
an ordeal.
Yeah, we had some philosophical, like,
Was it a
heart-to-heart
Was it a quest?
topics. Yeah, it was, and you know what we got when we completed this quest? To spawn another parachute and jump off the building we landed on.
We ended up smacking into poles.
Oh yeah. That was like, we had a little mini game where you go up to a roof, you call your point. It can be anything: a trash can, a light post are the easiest ones, or a tree, and you have to try to jump off the building and then not die.
That was
you
really
had-
bad.
but you had
I
to,
died
like-
all the time.
Oh, I was really good.
I just died.
The keys you have to ragdoll just right, so your body will like catch a little bit on the pole and slow you down enough to like where you hit the ground.
Yeah.
So you just broke every bone in your body. You
Yeah,
actually.
I mean,
but
and
not dead.
I died.
and
I
we,
died.
we didn't get any points from the game. We didn't get any money. We didn't unlock anything, and like it was literally the most fun I've had. And then I remember Mike wakes up and comes outside. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh man, I should get to bed." And he like pulls back the blinds, and the sun hits my eyes. I was like, was like, wait, what time is it? 8:30 a.m.? Like, I had no idea.
I'm like, I'm
It
about
was
to walk
just
to class.
fun.
What are you doing? It's like Tuesday.
Right, and it was just pure fun. Nothing, and I was
It was
playing it for no other
blissful.
reason. Yeah, it was. It was. I think
You don't get that feeling
I
that
think
much.
it was a Saturday though. I do, because I think I remember going to the ASU game later and being miserable. ASU football game for that. Anybody who doesn't know me. And then I think the king of this genre is Gary's Mod.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I haven't even invested too much time in Gary's Mod, but I do remember we went to a LAN speed place where you could just rent time on computers, and all we did was play Gary's Mod.
Yeah,
random modes that were there
For you
ever
youngins.
choosing.
For you youngins, back in the day, we actually paid money
Yeah,
to play Steam games with each other.
right.
We did. It
Yeah,
happened.
This was like actually a couple months ago.
Well, no, we only went because we could get free hours. I forget, something like that.
Yeah.
So, there are literally games that are just for fun. Today, we're going to talk about the exact opposite of that. These games are almost in no way, shape, or form fun. I mean,
no
depending.
logical.
They're still great. Don't get us
Person.
wrong.
But
They're,
they're
great
amazing
games.
games, absolutely.
Yeah,
But you wouldn't
our
play them
favorite
to have
games.
fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Our favorite not fun games.
I wouldn't say they're our favorite, but they're good.
Some of these
Our
aren't
favorite not fun games.
We have our favorite and some that we are just needing to point out.
We do have some base criteria for this, though. We, like it can't be a game that we just despise, but that a decent portion of people like it, and it's clearly made to be enjoyable. We just don't like it.
Right.
So
Yeah, personal vendettas aside.
So none
right
of
here.
these count for that. We were very clear to filter them.
Right. Yeah, no grudges are being held today.
Oh, I'm
Except for
holding
mine! I'm just kidding. No grudges.
Oh, you got one grudge.
I
but
got
we'll
a couple
discuss that
grudges.
later.
Yeah, that's true. So we're just going to go around. We'll start with my lefternmost as the guest of honor.
Now, if you remember, if you've been
Sorry,
doing your
John.
homework, that's me.
Kiemoe, what you want to talk about today?
I think one of my favorite not fun games is The Walking Dead. Specifically, I'm talking season 1 here. I haven't gotten a chance to
The Telltale Walking Dead games.
Yeah, the Telltale Walking Dead.
1 was cool, then season 2 came out, so everybody got
can't-
it, and
you-
they sold out.
all
and
I'm
they
saying
went,
is I
You
haven't
can't
gotten
see
to season
Kimo's
2. It's-
bow tie and ironic suspenders right now.
he is wearing a beanie, and it is not cold. And,
Hey,
and he has feet painted on the top of his loafers.
You were
painted
ironic.
Bare feet.
you guys are just attacking my character. I just bring up the game and you just
Hey,
attack
we
me.
can't attack the games. I
How
never said we couldn't
political
attack
is this?
people. I don't want to hurt the game's feelings, but
Yeah, the
I don't
game's
care
great.
about. I don't care about hurting
Yeah,
my friends.
the game is great. So you guys, leave me be.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I bring up season 1 is because I haven't gotten to season 2 yet. But
Oh, okay.
season 1.
You didn't
Walking
preface
Dead-
it that way, or we just cut you off before you
You
could.
did cut me.
We clearly. I heard it and I still cut him off. So we're.
We weren't about to let that opportunity pass by.
Nope.
Yeah.
So now, if anybody hasn't played Walking Dead, which I haven't, I feel like I kind of know, it's a lot of quick time events, right? And a lot
Yeah.
of dialogue.
The gameplay is mostly quick time events and decision making. If that
Can you
counts.
lose? If you can probably make a decision and then die or something.
I think you only lose if you fail the quick time events and then you
Okay.
retry.
Okay.
But the decisions are where the real branching story paths kind of come from.
So
Was it-
multiple endings to a game?
Yeah, it's made by Telltale
yeah.
Games, and that's kind of that was their.
That's their claim to fame.
Yeah.
It
have a
kind
couple
of
branches.
funnels you into
There's a main-
dual ending. There's one or the other, and
right.
it pretty much ends the same way. But the journey to get there is the really compelling part of the game. And yeah, I mean, quick time events, they're not fun. And the story, it's not fun. You're not having a great time, you know, losing people that you get attached to in the story and making these tough decisions. Sometimes you get that decision where you get to kill off someone that's been
Yeah, you've
annoying
been
you.
waiting to kill off. Yeah.
But
That's the greatest part. Best part.
yeah,
For anyone with murderous thoughts in their brains, the apocalypse may be you're fun for you.
It's their
I don't know.
salvation.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Well, it's
I
great
can
seeing-
kill whoever I need to. Now.
there are definitely characters like that in the game, and it's really great seeing them react in this kind of universe. You know,
Right.
they finally get a chance to show off all their crazy, and they
Right.
really do. So yeah, just seeing all these different characters interact with each other, getting attached to some, and then having to lose them or making tough decisions to lose them.
Right.
I think that's where the most compelling content comes from the game.
So there are some clear-cut no-win situations for you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's great because the further you get in, it's 5 episodes, and once you're at episode 4 and episode 5, there really are no good decisions to make. You're just making the lesser of 3 evils.
Yeah, you can kill person number A, or you can kill person number B.
Yeah.
But if you kill A, maybe they don't kill more people, or just like that kind of situation.
Yeah. And in your dialogue, you have like a limited number of seconds to choose like what you want to do.
That's
So,
cool. So
yeah,
it adds
you're kind of rushed.
as an
Yeah,
urgency to the game, to it. a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
you have like the 4 face buttons to choose from, and you have like 3 choices, and then like usually your X button or your A button is like
is make no choice and
is just
fetal
an ellipses.
position?
It just like don't say anything, ellipses. So like it's funny because Gary Whitta, one of the writers on that game, had mentioned that they log all that information. They log all the decisions everyone makes, and they at the end of
to see
every-
what
you
is
can
the most
see it.
popular
Yeah.
decisions. That's cool.
So at the end of every episode, they like kind of put you in a pool, like you were in this percentage who made this decision and stuff like that.
So does it
And you
ever
can
make
see-
you feel like a total scumbag? Like you're like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. There's some where you're like, what are you guys all thinking? I'm in the 10%.
You're like, no one had the
over here?"
balls to make a tough decision but me.
Yeah.
You couldn't protect her.
But Gary Whitta had mentioned that.
Are you a Shane or are you a Rick?
You're kind of
You specifically, I want to
Oh,
attack
am
you.
I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Me? I guess I'm.
Are you afraid to get your hands dirty?
I'm a
Glenn.
Rick, I guess.
You're Glenn. You
I'm
get
a
Maggie.
Glenn. I'm
Okay.
a Doc.
A little soft,
I'm
a little softy.
I'm a little
He's
soft.
So in other words, if I let you
always
into my
partial.
crew in the apocalypse, you're gonna be the
Partial.
weak link that lets us all die.
I'm gonna be the guy that says, "Hey, let's all get along."
And then we
Let's try and, like,
eat you,
befriend
because
the
we can all agree on
zombies.
that.
You're right.
Let's try to be friendly zombies. It sounds horrible.
Just you wait. I'm gonna turn it around.
They're not good
Chemo's like, I
friends.
hope the apocalypse happens now, so I can prove you wrong.
But yes, a really interesting point that he made that really stuck out to me was that as the episodes went on, in episode 4 and episode 5, you get more and more of these ellipses choices from like all players. So more players have chosen.
It gets hard because
to
it's
not
hard
say
to
anything.
choose.
Yeah, the decisions have become so hard that like people don't know what to say, or they time it out, or they just don't want to make the decision.
Right.
So it's really good to kind of seeing where you kind of lie, like personally as a person, and like what your decisions like, or what your decision making skills really come down to.
Right.
So yeah, not fun, but
That seems really cool. Yeah, definitely. It's because it seems like it takes all the parts of the show that are great and then adds that responsibility to it that you feel like personally involved,
Yeah.
like literally in the story. So
yeah.
it makes you feel the pressure that the characters are under.
Oh yeah,
in the show.
it definitely takes advantage of the greatest strength of video games, and it's the fact that you're making the decision or you're pulling the trigger.
It's got some pretty gruesome scenes in it too.
Yeah.
They're great. But
Yeah.
they're pretty gnarly.
like putting down some of your your teammates. I won't go into
Like putting them down, like
Putting
you drown them in pudding.
They're a rabbit.
Yeah, they
a
just
rabbit
drown
puppy.
in pudding.
Yeah. So let's just say like maybe someone.
What do you guys
gets
think of the top 5 worst things to drown in? No, I'm just kidding.
bit. Oh, that's another fun.
Pudding's gotta be one of them, though.
Listerine.
Although I guess mud
that
would
would
probably
be
be
good.
worse than pudding.
Mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least I would die tasty.
yeah, right.
Okay, Evan. All right.
Might die exfoliated too. I don't know. But yeah, definitely. I can definitely see why that would be so good. Obviously, as someone who likes the show,
Yeah.
but yeah, it doesn't sound like fun though.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like
No,
I'm
no.
having a blast.
Not when they're like, you have to kill one of your own party members, and like if this was difficult to watch in the show, now you're the one pulling the trigger.
Right.
Or like, yeah, just you have to do things to yourself and like others that like these would be the moments in the show or in movies where you would look away, but you have to pay
You have
attention
to, right.
because you're playing a quick time event.
Look at the flowers.
So yeah, really good.
All right, you got any others off the top of the dome skis?
Off your beanie dome.
Off my
Yeah.
BD dome. Well, I've been getting into Alien Isolation lately.
Okay.
I've been,
Are we talking xenomorph?
We're talking xenomorphs today.
You are the xenomorph in this game, or are you?
I wish I was the xenomorph. Yeah,
Maybe
this
that
is-
would be a fun game if you were the xenomorph.
Yeah, this is definitely not fun. It is. It's very traumatic, man. This game. I mean, I haven't gotten to the end of it yet, but it is one of the the most powerless I've felt, or it is the most powerless I've felt in a game probably ever.
So you're telling me there's no predators in this game?
No predators.
Have you played Amnesia?
I played some Amnesia, yeah.
Is it a similar feeling to that?
It is, yeah, because you do get a gun in Alien, but I feel like the gun just makes you feel
Makes you
less
like
powerful.
act rash because you think you can fight back, but you really can't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you have this gun and you can shoot things, but like there's the androids in the game, the working Joes. They take like 3 headshots or 4 headshots, and like they will grab you and choke you out. And like there's survivors, but you shoot them and then you're just making noise for the alien, and then the alien's not going to die from it. So like you have this gun that you feel like you're safe when you have it, but it just makes you more powerless. It
Right.
just shows you how powerless you really are.
Right.
Ooh. That intrigues me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of a cool notion.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It's a really cool.
Inverts it
game.
a little bit rather than just
Yeah.
being like, oh, I can only run. It's like you can fight back and that makes you feel safe, but it really is it makes things
Yeah.
worse.
Like, here's the musket. It's not going to help you against the demon rhinoceros.
Yeah.
It's still going to kill you.
Here's a musket. You get 1 shot. By the way, it takes 5 to kill them.
Yeah, and that game, it's like it's something that's really interesting to me because most survival horror games, I don't really find like enjoyment or satisfaction out of like the gameplay. Like, I mean, if you count like Dead Space as a survival horror game, I think that would contradict it because I've had a lot of like enjoyment. and
Dead
fun
Space
out
is
of that.
you were very powerful in that
Yeah.
game.
You're walking a
relative to
you're
the-
walking a tightrope for there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first Dead Space had a nice, even though the plasma cutter, the first gun you get,
It's
is
limiting,
unmatched. It's actually the best gun in the game.
Yeah, it's really good.
But I feel like Dead Space 1 was a nice thing where you can fight back, but it's still really difficult. And then each
Yeah.
of them has kind of gotten more like you get
Yeah.
more and more guns and customizations, and it kind of takes you away from that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, because
Resident Evil?
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil. The way Resident Evil 4 is the perfect tightrope of you're kind of powerless in most situations, but you can still fight back. Like, and they made the controls just clunky enough
Yeah.
that you were like sweating at all times. You never feel like you're just breezing through any part of that game.
Yeah.
And then 5, most people criticize, but that was meant to be an action game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's the
it
thing,
definitely switched.
And I feel like Dead Space has done that too. Like by Dead Space 3, it's just an action game basically.
Yeah, the thing about like those games like RE4 and all the Resident Evil, well, I can't really speak for the older ones. RE4, RE5, Dead Space, all those games like they're like designed for like you have to kill these enemies to like, continue. You know, I don't think that was the case with the older Resident Evils, but I can't speak to them.
Right.
But yeah, like with
Yeah,
games
no,
like-
there's some parts in like Dead Space 2 or 3, can't remember, where you can't advance till you kill enough of them.
Yeah.
So,
Because
Yeah.
they have boss fights. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Boss fights ruin stuff like
yeah,
that.
you have to
Yeah.
kill them.
yeah, so like
usually.
like with a game like Alien or even like The Last of Us, like those games like really kind of cement the survival horror genre because it shows you like that you have these like weapons
The
to
Last
advance,
of Us is
but
too fun to be considered in this genre, unfortunately, or in this category.
Although
I
there's-
could see an argument for it.
There's
like,
something to be
because
said about the game
I
that manages.
Yeah, I enjoy.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say I enjoy the gameplay of The Last of Us. So like
Right.
it's hard to put it in there, but I also enjoy Alien. Like those, they're just like they're not fun because
Right.
like it's made to stress you out. It's
Yeah.
made to get a different emotion out of you than fun. You know. But
I really like when a game pulls a Cthulhu. Like, straight up, alright, it's here. You can interact with it by not getting killed by it. You can't stop it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can kill some of its homies, its little buddies running around, but literally learn from your mistakes, just avoid it. Run. And there were a couple parts in Last of Us early where you got that big hulking spawner, and you're looking at him, and you're like, I could kill... No, I'm just gonna...
I can use all of my ammo, or
Yeah.
I can just try to get
yeah,
the hell out of here.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that fly you fools moment is really integral ingredient that just it's just getting thrown out the window now because
Well, let's not make blanket statements because there's so many indie games. I'm sure there are people getting it right.
okay, so
but-
I'm going to limit myself to AAA titles. Like
Yeah.
it's getting thrown out the window out of
a lot of
the video game market.
Right.
The one that
I mean, that's one of the interesting thing about games now is like because I'm sure somebody's getting it right, but it's just hard to get exposure for every game because there's so many games coming out.
Yeah.
or that the game experience is so limited by the lack of resources because it still is. I mean, to get a layperson to try your game out as opposed to a AAA title. you know.
Right.
Some
The
people just-
average person is going to get the game they saw in the commercial on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just because that's what you see.
and the graphics just aren't the same.
Yeah.
So it seems like with, you know, Alien and a lot of survival horror, it's just about getting to experience that anxiety. Is actually it's not fun necessarily.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun when you look back on it,
Yeah.
but in the moment, it's not fun.
The exact same thing about a horror movie. Like, when
Right.
you look back on it, you're like, oh, I was really excited while I was watching that. But, like, I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy, like, the moment to moment. It was
Right.
it was terrifying.
Yeah, it's
you know?
great to just like feel a different emotion while.
Yeah.
And once again, I think games, because they have the advantage of you interacting, it puts you even closer to the life or death feeling than a movie. Because a movie is going to proceed and move on whether or not you do anything about it. Whereas like a game,
Yeah.
you're only going to, like the people that are going to survive a movie are going to get out of the situation no matter what you do sitting there. But in a game, you have to have the bravery to keep moving forward to get at, to survive. And so I think it does a better job of simulating that life or death feeling that is
Yeah.
what you really
They're really immersive, especially first-person games like
Yeah.
like the Amnesia, Five Nights at Freddy's, Aliens. They're all immersive because they're first person.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it makes you put yourself in that character's shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I hate horror movies but love horror games. Because in a horror movie, the people are going to die in just stupid ways, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to die in a stupid way in a game, but at least I was the one that,
Yeah,
like,
it was your
did it.
fault.
You know what I mean? I can
Yeah.
accept that.
Well, how many people go see a horror movie in the theaters where everyone shuts up and doesn't talk to themselves the whole time to make themselves feel like they're not in danger?
Oh, yeah. That's what I
Totally.
do. Why do
Breaks
you,
the
yeah, I
point.
make fun of horror movies because
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
wanna be
oh,
scared.
she's stupid. It's like,
I don't want to be scared, but, like, in a horror game, it's like I have to focus. You know, I have to, like, pay attention or else I'm going to die. Right?
You gotta
Actually
love the
brings
people
up
that are like-
something interesting with horror games and horror movies. Is like when you play like a horror game, you feel sort of safe at the same time because you know that your character is going to make it to the end of the game.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
else, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the game Zombie U for the Wii U, that it was like a launch title.
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
Like, that game was actually really interesting in that because if your character died, it was like a roguelike, so when your character died, you just were a new character, and you had to, like, basically do, like a run to get to your old body, and then the person that you were playing as is now a zombie, and you have to kill that zombie to get your items back.
That's
So-
pretty cool.
Yeah, so, like, that really makes you feel unsafe. Like, that's, like, a really
yeah.
interesting way to handle it.
Right.
We'll touch on roguelikes in a little bit.
Sounds good.
Kimo, anything else to add?
No. I mean, there's a lot of good games out there to play if you're looking for a different kind of experience. You know, like 30 Flights of Loving is a really good 3-hour game. That's like a movie that like it really kind of engages you on a different level. Like you don't really have fun with it, but you do have like a different kind of emotion. It's like a very energetic thing.
Right.
I won't really get into it, but if you do want to check it out, it's probably like
What's it
$5
called?
on Steam. 30 Flights of Loving.
I'll have to look into that because that sounds like a really joyous game.
You're gonna have lots of loving.
Yeah, right.
It's
30 flights.
It's very Tarantino-esque.
Oh boy, we're
yeah.
getting kinky here.
Then we're gonna let the conversation move to my unlefternmost, but John, it doesn't make you any lesser most,
All
Going
right.
in a
or
weird
something
order this
like
time.
that.
You're right.
John, what you want to talk about today?
Well, we can talk about MMOs because a lot of people play them. Like even Destiny, a big AAA MMO came out. It's a shooter. It's still an MMO,
Right.
and really, those games are not fun at all. Like they're
I
super
agree.
repetitive. You just
Yeah.
keep doing the exact same thing, and you level up. That's the basis of a MMO.
Yeah.
And if any of you are around your early 20s, you probably remember a game called RuneScape.
Yes.
This game
yeah.
is just based on grinding. You just cut trees, you mine, you do boring, meager stuff to
Yep.
level up. And
It's like doing chores.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
It's
have
like-
to collect feathers for this one quest. You gotta kill chickens.
Yeah.
Lots of chickens.
I remember, okay, this is gonna be really specific memory, but whenever me and my friend in 5th or 6th grade, however old we were, started playing the game, we didn't know what we were doing, and here's how we made money. there was a goblin house on the first part of the road. I mean, you were supposed to, like, go through to, like, level 5 or something
I
like
remember.
this.
Is it the bronze?
Yes. We picked up bronze daggers that respawned on the ground and fought goblins and just kept doing this. And then we go to town, sell all our daggers, maybe buy one new piece of armor, and go back and do this. And, like, finally, we were, like, level 20 some odd, just so you fighting goblins, and then, like, finally we had enough people come up, like, what are you guys doing here? That I, like, started asking my friends, and this is, like, before online guides were really popular. Yeah. And they're like, you know, you can just make money a gazillion other ways than just stealing one bronze dagger at a time. And the worst part is that there were 2 of us, so we had to alternate who was stealing. We kept taking turns stealing the dagger until we had a full inventory.
That's what's great about RuneScape, though. You can do a bunch. But regardless of what you do, it's a grind. You can do, you can level up through anything that the game lets you. Right. Like, they even have gardening now. So
do they really?
Yeah, so you can level up your gardening and...
It'd be fun if there was, like, a mini game for this stuff. But literally it's just like, if you're mining, you just click the rock and then it says you mined it.
Yep.
And you get an ore in your inventory. And then you wait and then it respawns and you click it.
Yeah.
And the worst part is when you're trying to mine, like, something good, there's only one rock, and there's, like, 50 people
Oh, you have to
standing
fight
around
over it. You have to fight over this rock, and then you have to just yell at everyone else, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
Right. It's like the worst, like, just pure rage fest that you can imagine.
I will say, though, one thing I did for the brief time I played that was not fun is I tried to do quests that I was not high enough level to do.
Right.
So you're literally...
That game gave you no indication about that stuff.
You're screaming through the dungeon going, please don't hit me.
Yeah,
As you run through.
Yeah, because when you die, you lose, like, everything but your 3 best items. So you just lose everything.
And then you see the one giant spider, like, looks at you, and you're like, no.
And everyone always has that one friend who will take you out to the wilderness and kill you and take all of your stuff.
That sounds like a blast right there. If you're that friend.
That's topical.
Especially if you lose the quest item that you cannot get again.
Right.
It's basically game over for you. Have fun.
Yeah, and, like, that game was fun because it was, like, the first one where you were online with friends.
Yeah,
like,
it was...
That was a rush.
Yeah.
But the game itself was horrible.
It was garbage.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, the game was fun because you had friends, and there was a social aspect. You could make more friends by playing this game.
Right.
Just because there's other people playing the game with you. But what you had to do in the game was not fun at all. It was just repetitive, it was grindy.
You just always had that endless incline. You know, like, there's always, like, you know, another bar you could fill up. So you just kept going. But, like, the actual, like, gameplay loop.
You're Sisyphus with the stone.
Yeah.
Come back down.
Right. And if you take a break, you'll come back. There's like 3 patches with new armor that you have to go get.
So now it's an even bigger stone with spikes on the end of it.
And that's, I think therein lies the issue with like MMOs in general, why they're not fun, because they're like, and we'll talk about this later, they're just designed to get your quarters. I mean, it's, if you're paying a monthly fee, it's like, if you keep playing, you will keep paying $15 every month. That's what it's about.
Even like, just free games now too. All MMOs are grinds. Regardless of how you want to put it, they're a grind.
Right.
You gotta level up.
John, you have found a way to make them fun.
Yeah, you just kind of go around and mess with everyone you see, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable for you, because you're making other people angry.
You're taking their enjoyment.
You're taking their enjoyment and giving it to yourself.
If you think about it, you're preventing them from doing what the game wants them to do. So without the game being horribly purposed and designed, you can have your fun. So that lies the problem.
See, they'll waste their time mining the rocks, and it's all fine because it's part of the plan. but I walk up and say one little cuss word, and everybody loses their mind. That's pretty much that's what John does.
Yeah, it's
glorious.
Yeah, it's just how long can we keep them clicking on this and mining this ore?
Actually, you know what? Has anybody ever said, you're wasting our time? That's my favorite comment from
Actually, yes. I've had that. So I've been playing Arcade recently, and I was literally just messing with people, because you can summon your mount and just, like, push people with it. And so I was just one day, I was just sitting there, and there were just people, like, hitting mobs or whatever, and I was just summoning my mount and pushing them, and they're like, is this all you have better to do? I was like, yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah, right.
Here's where you break out the philosophy and go, okay, are you really doing anything more productive right now?
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, you're playing the same game with me, but I'm having more fun because you're killing things, and I'm just making it harder for you.
Right. If we both play Arcade for 8 hours and you beat it and I don't, Are you really more like? Was your time more worthwhile spent?
Well, if that was a single player game, it wouldn't be fun at all, right? Because
Yeah.
you're just if you just have this like the single player content to drive you through, like you're not having fun.
Well, and if their blood pressure goes up, it's just a net loss. It's just
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's like that's why you can't debate the trolls because the second you engage them, they've won. They're getting their fun.
Yeah.
You're not having fun because you're the one taking it too seriously. Like
Yeah.
the troll is winning,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to do. Even when I know this, I still engage the troll, and then afterwards, I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. But I couldn't. He deserved it.
So yeah, I really like your point with that. Then yeah, like MMOs are like really like inherently like as far as the game is designed, they're just like not fun. Like the content that you have to go through, like oftentimes isn't. But when you make your own fun, you know, with the social aspect, you use that tool to your advantage. Then you can find it. It's cool.
But I don't really I don't credit that to the game as much as it's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like if a player finds a way to make a bad game fun, then more power to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and we'll cover why that's an issue and why. I mean, really, gambling, quarter machines, all the same crap. It's behavior modification, compulsion, and we'll get there. But
By the way, John, I'm noticing a pattern here. We play Little Big Planet, and you keep stealing my Dingledorf, so we literally can't beat the level. And then you play an MMO, and you're literally pushing people off of cliffs with your mount, so they can't go onwards with their online lives.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but you would never realize that.
Do not play a video game with this guy at all.
when John inspires rage quits wherever he travels.
He's the Johnny Appleseed of rage.
But you
quits.
dare not like
Go around bearing my seed of quit. You gotta quit. You gotta quit.
your seeds of misery.
Have fun.
Because
I am.
We need to make a cartoon gif of him like prancing around and tossing the quit
The
seeds.
seeds of misery.
And watching people like trolls just go, ah!
Just watching them explode. Alright, John, any other games you'd like to discuss today?
Well, there's a great game. It won a couple awards. And so you think it'd be great, right? It's called Papers, Please.
Sounds fun.
Oh, is it about paper?
Right? It's totally about paper, actually.
For once.
Mike's Jolly Time blog declares, Papers, Please, as game of the millennia. I always love, you can tell in commercials when, like, the quotes aren't accredited to anybody. It's just like, you know what I mean? Or it'll be
They
like,
just give it, like, oh, who gave him that?
or it'll be like Electronic Magazine bi-quarterly.
9 out of 10.
That counts.
This website. What?
I have never heard of that website in my life, but I'm sure they're credible.
Random first
There's a
names.
website.
Most credible people on the planet. Jose says, so engaging.
All right.
That's like saying the best movie was the one the Oscar went to. You know, it's often not.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this game is. They won an award, and like the gameplay itself is completely different because you play as a guard who is letting people into the country, and that's literally all you do. You just let people into the country, and
She's like an immigration officer, basically.
yeah, you're an immigration officer.
Well, sometimes you don't let him into the country.
Yeah, you can choose on because you have to get a certain amount of people to meet your
Kiemoe's-
quota, so you
Kiemoe's
can get
just
money.
a little sensitive because he's Native American. Last time I let people into my country, look what happened.
Hey, this is a fictional country. This is totally
Okay.
different. But still, don't get in my country.
And, well, you gotta, like, let them in. And the thing is, the tough decisions, like, because this is all a game about decision-making. Because it's basically, do you let them in and let them accomplish whatever they told you they're going to do? Or if they're, like, a spy or something? Because you don't know, and you're just assuming by their story, so you have to check yes or no. And if you check, like, no, and they do something mess up, you lose
You
money.
get the consequences.
Well, yeah, the consequences are that you, like, can't feed your family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really good, like, it's like a push-pull.
It's a very moral game.
Yeah. It's kind of just, it's a lose-lose situation.
So you're like, this guy may be telling the truth, but I don't want to risk it because my family's got to eat.
Yeah, like if their tale is too like crazy, then you're just like, nah.
So how do you win, per se, in this game? Is there a story necessarily?
I wouldn't say there's really a
Yeah.
story. There's
I
kind of
feel
like
like you make-
headlines.
Yeah, you kind of make your own story with it because you have your family and you
you-
have like a certain number of family members and like you would lose them like by like making poor decisions
By
or, like,
dying of
letting-
starvation?
Yeah, they will starve if you don't
Oh my
like
goodness.
if you don't do your
so
job.
the
You know?
some of like what I've done in a couple playthroughs is like I'll just go yes, 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 like
And see what happens.
yeah, and just to see because I want the money so I can like feed my family, right?
Right.
But then like eventually something like bad happens, so then you have to. So it kind of slows down too, and they add more elements as the game progresses.
Right.
As to what you need to check, you need to check like their passports to make sure their IDs are matching, their passports, stuff like that.
That's cool.
And it gets more like tedious and longer, and I don't know. The game, the basis of it all remains the same. You got to feed your family, or you got to let the people in the country.
Right.
And they just add more, and it just makes it more tedious, and it makes it harder to actually feed your family because you're not meeting your quota because you have to take more time to examine.
Right. So then, what would you say you're getting out of it the most? That like, because obviously it's not fun per se, but you play it. You know, there's something keeping you going.
It's just to see what like you can. I don't know. It's really just a moral dilemma. If you like moral dilemmas, like
Right.
it's like that.
Well, it puts you in the position of somebody who's part of the regime, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we all look at stuff from Saddam Hussein or Hitler or Gaddafi or any, insert your dictator. We look at those guards. We've all done it on whether it was a World War II documentary or CNN. We go, why do you do that?
Right.
You're a jerk.
Uh-huh.
Why are you wearing that funky uniform and goose stepping into that wacko's orders? Well, it's because A,
He's got a family to feed.
Yeah.
A.
Family to feed.
B's got a family to feed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess C's got a family to feed.
Well, C, D, E, and F involve,
He wants to live another day.
Siberian gulags if you're Russian, sand-filled graves if you're in the Middle East. I mean, it does come down. Well, you know what? The only paying job was guard duty, and now they know my name.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's a fun way to like put yourself in a tough situation without having to actually put yourself in a tough situation.
First world problems.
It is really nice, like, because a lot of people do play games as an escape,
Right.
to avoid their problems. But then there's like this also nice subset where you want problems.
You get more problems and
yeah.
see how to deal with them.
Yeah,
More money.
exactly.
Well, it's funny too. Like, and credit to a lot of the media outlets and stuff. But a lot of games that win awards are the ones that put you in the tough decisions. Like
Yeah,
The
they're
Last
not
of
Call of
Us.
Duty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Call of Duty, it might win like a multiplayer online experience award or something.
Yeah, but it's not gonna win like a great.
But usually,
type
like
of award.
Game of the Year, like Game of the
Yeah.
Month, things like that. Almost like nowadays, go to the deeper games that like ask bigger questions and also have a great game to go along with.
Yeah.
Usually, but that was the great thing about Last of Us that made it so good. Was like it was a lot of fun to play in terms of just the straight up gameplay, but then it puts you in the story where it's literally life or death, and the decisions aren't like clear cut.
Yeah.
And if you really are getting into it, there's no like clear thing to root. Like you don't just it's black and white. I root for this.
Yeah.
It's like even the main character of that game by the end of it, you're like,
Yeah, this guy's kind of gray. The people that we've been fighting, kind of gray.
right. So I think it's like games in general have kind of grown up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing new per se, because RPG games have been doing that for a long time, but it's definitely become something that people look for and take seriously in a game now.
Well, yeah, like as games get more and more cinematic, then we get to make more movie-like games, and there's more movies than just Rambo, which is
It's more of a media outlet now.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, since we're covering cinematic RPGs, we're gonna seamlessly flow into one of my picks. It's not so. This is not a game so much as it is a mod of a game. We've all heard of Skyrim. Skyrim is made to be fun. Everybody can kind of agree with me on that one.
Well, yeah.
It's
it's something less
immersive.
grindy.
It is super immersive. Skyrim is so immersive.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's meant so that you go, yeah, I just like pimp slap that rat with my double
Well,
mace.
to Skyrim's credit, like there's crazy cool armor and that's hard to get and stuff, but I feel like you don't need it per se to beat the game or something.
No, you could just go on easy mode and breeze through it, which is what a lot of people do.
So I'll give it a credit. I mean, Skyrim's strengths are like in the immersive experience and like exploration. So yeah,
But there are masochists out there. There are people who look at it and went, you know what? I didn't bleed enough.
I need a challenge.
And they go, you know what? We're gonna take it back a notch. We're gonna make it like those old Imagination RPGs from the 6-bit era. Yeah. And then so
we're gonna make it a text-based game.
yeah.
Get ye flask.
yeah.
You
There
cannot
is
you
no-
cannot get you. But and so basically, in a nutshell, the way you level has changed. Your skills are changed. Your armor capabilities are changed. Units don't scale anymore, but that means that while your damage output increases, it doesn't matter what stage you're in. You take a really charged hit to the head, you're dead. You take an arrow to the head, you're dead.
Not even to the knee?
Not even to the knee. Just to the head, man.
Would you die from that, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough arrows and you'll fall over and die. Like,
Okay.
2 arrows.
Let's
tops.
test this out.
Yeah, I would like to see this. Now in Skyrim, like, if you get shot in the knee, does your move speed decrease?
Actually, you limp. If you get
That's
hurt,
cool.
how your weapons get knocked out of your hand, you lose your shield. You get concussed.
Is this all in Requiem, or is
This
this...
is in
This is all in Requiem.
This is all right. Okay, so that's
Remember
actually
those
kind of cool.
spiders you waded through? Yeah, they bite you and you trip balls.
Mike, you are telling such a compelling story that I nodded yes. I had never played the game.
I say, John,
Do you remember wading through spiders? Like, yeah, wait, no.
I say anybody who's played Skyrim, you know those frost spiders in the tutorial level.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally you run through and kill, whatever, swing. I tried to do that, thinking, oh, it's the tutorial level. And they bit me, and suddenly the world went all green and trippy, like LSD stuff, and you're like, what the hell? And I'm like, my game is sketching out. Like, I paused the game to go check. They're like, no, that's not a glitch.
Pulled Arkham Asylum on you.
Yeah, you're tripping balls. Don't worry, it will come out. It'll stop in like a minute, and it did. But I'm like it shows me getting up, like whoa. And so, minimum effort to beat the game with this style, you're gonna have to at least put in a couple 100 hours. If you want to beat with multiple characters, maybe even to the thousands, because you level up even worse than Morrowind with just swinging at stuff.
So, I mean, like, is it more difficult, and like, would you call it a good way as someone who loves Skyrim, or do you think it's, like, brutal, like to the point of frustration?
I entered it thinking this is gonna be fun. And when I figured out that not only is it going to take 10 times as much time to level up all my skills, it's going to take several orders of magnitude longer to acquire crafting materials. And at that point, I'm like, I'm out. That's it. I can't do this.
Right.
And I haven't touched it since. I
So,
realized
yeah.
it would take too much freaking time and too much effort.
What is there anything good? I mean, it seems so. It's a good concept, I guess.
Yeah. What people want in this thing is to get fully immersed.
Right.
They're not having a good time. I guarantee it. They're not enjoying it. They're stressed out. They're feeling tired. It's an endurance exercise. It's like that guy who says, "I love running triathlons." You do not. You're a liar.
Right.
Now you like the endorphins after, but you do not like doing it. And don't lie to
Yeah,
yourself.
that's a conversation we have every time we run. We're like, man, that sucked. And then, like, once we're, like, finally done, dying, we're like, man, I'm glad I did that. But it was not a blast mid-run.
But so, like, a normal RPG is what we do. We run 2 or 3 miles, heave and puff, have an asthma attack, and go back. This game is the triathlon.
There is no end in sight.
No.
Yeah, like, when you describe it to me, it sounds like it would be fun, but, like, when you were telling me that the rules don't apply to everyone, like, the NPCs and, like, the enemies and stuff, they don't die.
If you shoot them in the knee, they
One
don't
arrow.
start limping.
So, yeah, like, that doesn't sound fun when not everything follows that same rule set.
Right, it's not consistent.
How are you supposed to, like, you should be able to kind of, like, take these clues and, like, use them to beat the game,
Like, you should be able to take advantage of that system.
Yeah.
In addition to being punished.
Yeah,
by it.
that's where the fun would be, right?
Right.
Well, and there was one cave, and in the normal version, vanilla, it has 2 trolls. That's it, 2 trolls, and they're kind of a big deal low level. This game, there's a horde. I'm not like exactly like there's like 60 of them total in the cave, and a giant troll to boot. And so you're like, oh, cool, it's all this gear. Where's the trolls? And then you see them. You're like, I'm dead. That's it.
Is that the game
That's
sending a
when you run
subliminal
away.
message that says, I'm trolling you?
I think
It's less fight and win. It's more run away.
And cry.
Run away and cry.
yeah.
If-
Oh, and the other thing I forgot that makes it even worse is the item carrying is realistic now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We
Fast
don't
travel.
Yeah, over
doesn't
encumbered is
exist.
the worst thing ever because,
Yeah.
like in Morrowind, when I murdered the richest guy in Balmora and tried to sell all his stuff so I could get a little bit of money, I had to make multiple trips, and that's wrong in my opinion. That's
That is
wrong to make me make multiple trips to sell the stuff I stole.
Well, and they tried to make it so that fast travel is not possible.
It's just not right. They don't. Oh, they got rid of
They
fast
tried.
travel?
Like, there's somebody talked them into
Do
leaving.
you have to take the shoe puff?
Skyrim has horses, and that's nice. But the carts only go to cities. So yeah. But yeah, so that's that. If you feel like putting yourself through a meat grinder, there's Requiem. And And speaking of, John doesn't share the same opinion as I, so he will.
Yeah, no, I actually prefer really hard games. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of masochistic in that way. And like Skyrim Requiem is right up my
I'm glad
alley.
you like to share your pain with yourself and not just others.
Yeah, like I would recommend people to play this.
So, so you're an omnikist. You're not a masochist or
Yeah.
sadist.
You just
Everyone
hate
should
everything.
enjoy. But I like it because it does do the locational damage. I like being able to have that sense of, well, I need to be completely precise with what I'm going to do, or I'm going to die.
Right.
So it kind of,
Makes it more life or death.
yeah, it kind of stems back, I feel, to like the horror genre.
Yeah, it makes it more strategic, I guess.
Yeah, and so I like to, like, you kind of got to plan out ahead. You kind of, because poisons are really useful in this.
Yeah.
Because there's like paralyzing poisons, like those are life saving. Like you want that, and so I feel this adds more tactical feel than just run up and I'm gonna slap you. You're dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you gotta play everything safe and slow.
So you would say that you have fun with that game?
Yeah, no, I love things like that. Like, Skyrim's one of my favorite games because I like the Elder Scrolls series because they're highly moddable, and whenever I play them, I always try to make it as hard as I can on myself.
Yeah.
So I try to find the mods that will immerse me, make it more realistic. Like, I have another mod on Skyrim called Frostfall.
Right.
If I'm in the cold, I will freeze to death and die. I can't go swimming in, like, the ice lake, 'cause
Really?
I'll die.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Or it'll drain my, like, stamina. Yeah, I'll be, like, fatigued and I can't go far.
Right.
See, I feel like they could have fixed my issues with it had they not just made it a giant pain in the butt for stuff. Like, the combat wasn't what bugged me so much. The problem
Yeah, the
was
combat's great still.
it was the combat plus the fact that
It's
if
more
I got
location.
hurt, I'm now over encumbered, so I can't even run away properly. And the health potion doesn't heal me right away, neither does the stamina potion. It takes hours to work. And I just dropped my sword and there's like 6 enemies around me. And my NPCs don't know what the hell they're doing. So I died.
Well,
Again.
it's like that. It makes houses more of a like you're Batman. You gotta
you
have your
to-
equipment in your house,
Yes,
and then you
that's
choose
true.
what equipment you need for that like quest you're going on. So I feel it puts more roles on houses too, because houses are just things you had. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh god, and raiding dwarven caves, you can't exploit dwarven metal for armor because it's so freaking heavy.
Have you ever, is it as bad as raiding a dingle dwarven cave? Because those guys are heavy when you're trying to steal them from your friends.
I think you can get like one dingle dwarf if.
I tell you, I'll put a picture of a dingle dwarf in this in the cast cover for this week,
Well, I mean,
just so you guys know what the crap we were talking about.
if you want to make yourself strong enough to carry all that crap, you literally slow yourself down because you're a larger person. So it's like,
All right, well, anything else you'd rather talk about than you're depressing?
well, actually, unfortunately, this isn't going to depress you any less. But there's a game. There's a game called Spec Ops: The Line. Now, half of the people who heard this are either groaning or cheering.
I don't know much about. Is it a Tom Clancy game or?
No, it's which studio made it? Because they originally they made a normal shooter back in the day, and this is their foray in. But instead of doing your normal run and gunner, they took Heart of Darkness and made it into a first person shooter that, to my knowledge, you weren't supposed to enjoy. Like, it plays out like a shooter, but the whole time it's messing with your head.
Okay.
You're starting to question everything you're doing, and the I'm not going to ruin the ending, but let's just say that it pops you in the belly button, and you don't know how to.
So this one's issues aren't so much of the gameplay as much as the
narrative.
The narrative, yeah.
But
It kind of has that Walking Dead thing a little bit going for it, where it might have better, like the shooting mechanics are probably better than Walking Dead doesn't have much to it.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the enjoyment is more from the experience.
The mechanics turn into something. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna yell spoiler alert. Skip. We'll put in the comments. We'll put in the comments how long you need to skip ahead. But it calls out anybody who plays an FPS for escapism. For what it is you are fantasizing about death, destruction, and harm, and you're I mean, not getting off it in a sexual way, but you're getting off on it. You're
finding enjoyment.
You are trying to be the hero, and you are the furthest thing from it right now.
Right.
And it
So
openly
you're shooting mindlessly.
Yeah, it holds up the mirror and says, "Look at what you're doing."
Right.
Like, you are not, like, it makes fun of the first world bias we have so hard.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to stomach.
Okay, oh man, so much good Walking Dead discussion could happen right now. Because I'm just going to say this. In one of the recent episodes, Tyrese's character, I was watching Talking Dead, which normally that show has no value whatsoever. But the actor who plays Tyrese was talking about how his plot was meant to bring weight back to killing, because in Walking Dead, it's kind of gotten to the point where we, like, personally, whenever Rick kills someone, I'm like, yeah, finally,
yeah.
you shoot him dead, Rick.
We need more dead people.
You're right, yeah,
so,
I need more killing, because who cares? So,
You go to hell and you die.
yeah, so his whole thing was like, my character, I mean, some people are going to look at me as like a pussy or something like that, but like they're trying to bring more weight to killing. So it sounds like, to me, from not playing this game at all, but it sounds like that's what it's trying to do, is bring more weight of killing, like moral weight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of brings, and the reason why I bring up Heart of Darkness is it takes that kind of concept of superiority that we naturally digest, and it's part of who we are, it's part of our culture.
Right.
And it flips it on its head and says, you know what, not only are you a douchebag, you're a hypocritical douchebag. And the fact that you're not aware of it makes you even more of a hypocritical douchebag.
Well, are you sure? This game sounds like a blast, really.
Yeah. And I mean, because it's not unfun, but after a while, you just realize, you're like, oh my god, how many of these soldiers have I killed? And they're all American.
Right.
Wait a minute.
So this has a little bit of that Papers, Please thing. It's kind of like a thought experiment in a way.
Oh yeah.
And I guess, like, I haven't gotten too far into that game, but I guess the gameplay on the gameplay of the game starts to get kind of rote after a certain point. So, like, that kind of adds to the fact that you're just not having fun with it. Now, like, I guess the story in the end of it is so worth it that, like, a lot of people do suggest that you do play it, like, even if you play it on
Even
easy.
if you're not
just,
really into it.
Yeah, play it on easy just so you can see what happens. Because they do some really crazy stuff as the game goes on, just messing with your psyche. Like, I guess, like, the loading screens after you die, like, the message on the loading screens, usually it's like, press square to reload, you know, like, then they start getting really weird, like, you know you're a murderer, don't you? Like, just weird things like that, you know? So, like, really cool, like, really cerebral stuff.
Makes you
out of it.
think.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's. I mean, I straddle a very odd perspective on this because I've spent enough time with people who have been and fought, and I've heard enough of their stories to where I can't play a Call of Duty game anymore, just because it's like, all right, this feels wrong.
You mean you don't want to shoot up an airport? I never played the game, but I just remember whenever Modern Warfare came out.
I would make a it's okay to shoot Russian citizens joke, but I feel like that'd be.
But you feel like it's not okay?
It's not okay to shoot Russian citizens. It's okay.
It's hard to make that joke, then.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Let's talk about the best jokes that aren't funny, huh?
But it's kind of weird because there's a level of just brutality in the humor with the people that do FPSs. Like I feel like we can't really even argue that one. It's there.
Right.
Who's the group of people pull out of the hat when video games are bad? Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's it. And to be fair, I'm sure the most aggravating thing for many of the people I know who have been in the armed services is the stupid age-old question, second only to have you killed anybody, is it like Call of Duty?
Right. I can't believe people ask that.
For the love of God, do not ask somebody that if they've served. Please.
That's like asking them, is it like the Expendables?
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
if
that's
any of my
crazy.
friends have dolphin dived into combat.
I mean, I mean, well, and that's the other problem too, is you get, I mean, the fact, and there's a whole other set of conundrums that are part of
In
where,
war, do you get like salt? Quit camping.
Yeah.
Sniping your men.
Why are you drop shotting me?
well, is it
Who's quickscoping?
Is it unethical for wow.
That's not funny. It's
Running around with the LMG all day.
I mean, I don't recommend throwing your tomahawk axe into the air.
I don't recommend actually having one.
Yeah,
No.
don't carry. Well, yeah, no, don't carry
No,
tomahawk
you don't,
axe. There's
no.
more efficient melee weapons you can carry.
Like a shovel, believe it or not. But anyways, it comes down to the fact that and the U.S. government uses Call of Duty and Battlefield to recruit people.
No, well, they have their what is it, America's Army game.
America's Army, yeah.
Well, no, they actually made that, but they pay recruiters to go and play with all these like 15, 16-year-old kids and say, hey, if you like
Because
this,
the kids think they'll be into that. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I can be an army guy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's a whole nother like diatribe. But I guess Spec Ops really kind of
That's a whole nother podcast meeting for a more reputable website.
Yeah. But that's kind of where Spec Ops takes you along by the hand, and you think you're going to this fun little
Typical
excursion,
shooter thing.
and you're not. You're going to somewhere where you got to think. God forbid. So, yeah.
And that's a cool thing. I mean, I think video games have always kind of, since the olden days, have had this stigma of being something that's mindless, and I just think it's cool that games nowadays are totally defined. They're not mindless at all.
Yeah.
They're not even for fun. They're
Not
to
every
stimulate
time.
your
they
mind.
make you. They literally. Yeah.
Well, and this is one of the few games that really does bring home the PTSD metaphor and narrative, almost as well as Slaughterhouse 5, which I'm not going to bother explaining that book. If you want to read it, very good, but it's
it the fifth in the series, or
no? It's going to take too long to explain why they call it that, but that book is held in esteem as one of the best, if not the best, novelization explanation for the effects of war on the human psyche, except for maybe Red Badge of Courage. But other than that,
so this is up there with that.
yeah,
That's cool. I wonder if mainstream media would agree.
It got destroyed in the mainstream media until people actually explain it.
Right.
Fox News, gotta love it. Anyways,
Anything else to add, Mike?
that's about it, honestly.
Okay, then I'll get into mine. I'm going to make mine quick. The first I want to talk about is Flower, actually, for the PlayStation 3.
Oh yeah.
If it's an unforgettable game if you played it, but it's hard to explain if you haven't. Literally, you are the wind, and you beat the game by flying into flowers and whipping up their petals into your stream of wind, and then guiding the petals through more petals by steering, and you steer with your controller. Yeah. So this is
It's motion controls.
Yeah, exactly. So you steer it almost like you would a wheel in a way, but you can go up and down as well, so there's that extra plane. But you just guide the wind and collect flowers and bring life back to a dying valley. Is the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
So flower petals germinate now.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just I'm assuming there's just a pinch of magic in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's no actual,
Well, maybe the anthropomorphic wind is part of it.
a lot of people can't play it because they're like, I need an explanation. I'm just kidding. I don't know if everybody's gonna say that. But yeah, there's no story whatsoever.
Somewhere
There's
out there,
like
someone
some-
said that exact way with that exact voice.
There's some really abstract story in there.
Yeah, there's some kind of underlying tones of industrialism, isn't there?
yeah,
Are we talking levels of braid, levels of vague? What do they mean? Kind of stuff.
No,
Or
I
is
don't.
it
I
even
think it's
lighter?
vaguer than that.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
it's bigger than
Super
that. Like your high school English professor, I don't know if you call them professors in high school, could do a lesson on this. They could read into this game a lot and probably make up a lot of stuff that's not even symbolism. It's not even actually in there.
Yeah.
Which is funny because our English teacher in high school, his thing was to write vague on your report. Didn't tell you what was vague or how you could fix it. He just wrote vague.
It was the most vague criticism / helpful hint. that you
10th
can
level
imagine.
irony.
Yeah, right. And then when you'd ask him, he'd usually be like, all right, well, I'm kind of busy. Come back tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, so there's some underlying industrialism symbolism in there. But it's fun, kind of, but I wouldn't really call it fun. It's literally just relaxing in the truest sense. It's nice to just, at the end of a day, just beat a level. Even though there's not that many levels. There's only 6 levels. But just, you could literally... It's one of the few games you can play while reclining. If you guys, play most games that require fast reflexes. Your reflexes are actually reduced if you're reclining. So it's just
everybody got real when they start leaning over to play.
Oh, yeah. When they're, blaming the game, their control... oh, my controller's sticky or something, and then they lean forward to play the next round.
Yeah.
It means business. You never have to lean forward playing this game, and there's nothing really to wrap up or make you think. It's just pure enjoyment. And there's some other games that you guys brought up that I actually didn't know that kind of fall into this. It's really just, I don't want to say mindless per se, but it's just meant to kick back with.
You're not using higher processing.
Yeah, you're not. You just are I don't know, relaxing. You're literally just relaxing, playing the game and listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack for this game is great. I have the soundtrack downloaded, and I've listened to it when I can't sleep. I'll just put it on.
Bear with me. It's kind of like the Zen Buddhist exercise of digging a hole and filling it back up. What does it do for you? nothing, but somehow it helps.
Right. It just helps
Yeah,
you find your inner peace.
It is a very zen game.
Yeah, right. In the most
Yeah, as the literal sense, zen. Like it is very.
There is a genre of games called Zen games, and I think that Flower and like some of these other ones on this list definitely.
Sport doesn't count. Sport is too.
So what are some with Proteus? I haven't played.
Proteus is definitely a Zen game. It's the most Zen game I ever played. You just you walk around.
That is so Zen.
You're in like a randomly generated world.
Yeah, you walk around on an island, and by interacting with things, by getting close to nature and the flowers and butterflies or whatever you see on this island, they create musical tones, and so it's you're creating your own soundtrack for this game by just exploring this island. You just walk around and music plays as you explore.
That sounds amazing.
So slow paced. It's you need to want that kind of.
You may not be let's playing.
It's
this
not
together,
something.
guys.
That's not a let's play game.
It's like a one shot. If we were to let's play, let's 30-minute it.
Right. Just and it's like Giant Bomb's Quick Looks. It's this is just to show you what it's about. You're not gonna watch somebody just hardcore play this game.
Yeah,
because there's no substance to it.
Right.
Yeah, there's no second episode to that game, and
right.
I think that game. You really don't even get anything out of it if you're watching it anyways. I feel like you have to just play it because
if you're not the one making the tone,
it's a completely different feeling.
Yeah,
that's cool.
If you're just watching,
I would actually totally agree. Flowers totally horrible game to watch.
It. You would not want to watch Flowers. I would agree.
Yeah.
Let's play, guys.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Right. Let's snap, guys.
Proteus.
See Osmosis is kind of like that. Although I could see somebody watching Osmosis just because you have to. So Osmosis, you're a cell and you eat other cells and you get bigger and you eat more stuff.
Oh, so you're not bigger. Osmosis Jones?
No.
Worst game ever.
Is there an Osmosis
Worst
Jones
movie except for Bill Murray.
I loved the cartoon. The show.
Ozzy and Drix.
Yeah, Ozzy and Drix. Okay, you're right. Ozzy and Drix is tight.
But
F the haters, you know what I mean.
In the room here.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can leave once the cast is done.
Yeah, I was like, all right. You hear the door shut.
So you just absorb.
Yeah, and so, there's something zen about it, but on the other hand, I could see it, as the game gets more difficult, you could actually, see, how's he going to get out of this?
Right.
And so it's like, you're just starting to climb out of the zen thing towards the end, and then you die, and then you're back to the bottom again.
Yeah.
So, another kind of game, this one I'll be brief about. I have Ghosts and Goblins, if you get for the SNES? I don't know. Or it might have been Super Ghosts and Goblins, because Super Ghosts and Goblins is the one I played more.
Yeah,
I think there was a Ghosts and Goblins for the NES.
I think there was.
Yeah,
so this game is one of those that it might technically be excluded, because I think it's kind of designed for fun. The way it starts is designed for fun. This, and I have Mega Man down here too. For anybody who's ever played the old school Mega Mans, they start out super fun when you're beating it. And then as the game progresses, at least for Ghosts and Goblins, which was an arcade game, it's designed for difficulty, because if you beat it, you'll quit pumping quarters into it. At that point, it doesn't become about fun anymore to me. It becomes the only reason that you would keep playing it is to beat it. And most Mega Man games I've played, I've come to that point where it's just so difficult that I would really need to study the level or whatever. And I'm just I'm not really having fun anymore. And I quit playing it. Mega Man X games excluded from this, because Mega Man X games are great. But when the mechanics are so simple that it's just jump and shoot, it's just not motivating at all to me. And it's just something where it doesn't, once it's lost that fun aspect, there's no real narrative to these games to keep you going. They're not really thought experiments. And obviously they're old games, so.
You don't want to find out how Dr. Wily gets defeated?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Mega Man stops him somehow.
You don't do it. You're not wrong.
It's like the Mario Brothers games too, though. People play them, but who hasn't gotten to the end without cheating?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I've ever beaten Mario 3 without
who's played it all the way
autosave.
through?
Mario 3. No.
Yeah, that's the only one.
I use warp whistles.
Mario, and then Mario World.
We were bored at summer camp, and that's about the only reason I played all the way.
Mario World, I could beat all the way through, but even that game, because that one's my favorite. Even that game, I usually end up going through the Star Road path, and then
Star Road's just so cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so awesome.
Well, I'm trying to remember how long it actually it took weeks for us to get through the darn thing. And I had to finagle with the older kids to let me like play it over and over again, and it turned into like this. Oh, is this?
You guys were trading too much. You literally couldn't like learn the level well enough because you had to trade.
Yeah.
That was like one time my roommate, I came home from work and it was right after Battlefield 3 came out.
Yeah.
And my roommate and a couple of his friends were playing on my account, which I don't care, but they were swapping every death. I'm like, I get swapping Battlefield every round, but like swapping every death,
That's
you can't
not
even
a
get
good
in a
idea.
groove.
Yeah.
And how many times do you spawn and then blow up from a grenade? And you know what I mean? Like, why would you want to pass a controller after that?
That's
so my
depressing.
KD was like, at least I had an excuse then when I actually played myself and was horrible. I'd be like, oh yeah, my KD, my roommate ruined it, or otherwise I'd be well over positive. But yeah, to me, a game, at least games like that, they don't have enough mechanics to like really be interesting because like Dark Souls and other games that are meant to be challenging towards the end, I feel fair, and I feel like a lot of these old arcade games are not fair.
No. They're,
You get hit and then you fall off a cliff because it bounces you back a little bit.
Right.
Well, that kind of feeds into like, I mean, a lot of them were designed literally. Put another quarter in, kid. Come on, you know you want to win.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so, I don't want to exclude, because, the core mechanics of Mega Man for the time are, amazing.
Yeah.
And that game is fun, the first, 3 or 4 men, like Waterman or whoever that you fight usually.
See, yeah, I would argue that the game starts harder.
Well,
because without any of the other abilities,
Yeah.
you have to
You know
find
who to counter.
you have to find the
Yeah.
boss that you can beat with just your buster.
See, but
and then
that's
find his
that's
counter.
nice being on the internet, because I can look up
Oh,
who's
yeah.
weakest to the Buster and do their level first.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
But, there's a little bit of truth to that. And then the last game, totally personal vendetta, and there's not much to even say. We said the best games that aren't fun. These are the worst games that aren't fun. Social games in general, like Farmville, and then point-and-click games like Plants vs. Zombies and Bejeweled.
Yeah.
Tetris.
I can't, you can tell me that they're fun, whatever, but I surmise that they're just addictive. Even Tetris to an extent. I love Tetris, personally.
Arranges the blocks as they fall from the heavens up above.
Was that improv?
No, that's a song.
You should have told me it was improv. That was about to be really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, these kind of games, literally, there's just that...
Wait, you've never seen that video?
No.
Well, we're not know what we're doing after this.
We're doing what we always do, watching YouTube videos. But yeah, they're literally just designed to keep you playing. They're the golden pot at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies, I guess you can get some new type of zombie or plant that shoots a different way or different power-ups.
This
But
one
it's
throws terracotta pots or something.
yeah.
Alright.
And I guess there's some different kind of zombie types to freshen things up.
Yeah.
Or Bejeweled, but Bejeweled, these games where it's just it's literally just a sensory rush. It's like an adrenaline rush, I guess, in a way.
Well, especially
It's similar to Call of Duty, honestly. It's I'm in there, I'm running around, and I'm just shooting. I'm running, I'm shooting. You're not thinking. It's like the flower type not thinking game, but I don't approve, so it's bad.
Well, there's a difference, and we just covered this in Psych and Animal Behavior this year, ironically. It's geared like gambling is. Why is gambling addicting? Gambling has a random reward punishment circuit.
Right.
And
RNGesus.
Yep.
well, so it's you're playing blackjack, and you know what? You win. You don't even win consistently.
You just win enough. You win enough.
Yeah.
That you're I can do this.
and you're still losing money, but you still want to do it.
Right. I can win money. I can do it. I know.
Law of averages.
Right.
The only difference though is
I'm due for a win, guys.
well, and if you think about it,
Well, actually, you're not, because the overall odds are actually scaled in the casino's favor. So at all times, you're actually due to lose.
Well, the people that made the building made it in their favor.
yeah, right.
well, hey,
You see that car they're driving? They didn't get that car because you won.
They didn't pay for that car with their debt.
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they did if they're into some stuff.
Ask any mathematician. Games that have, if you're a blackjack dealer and you're only having one deck, yes, past occurrences affect the present. You got 6 decks and an automated shuffling machine. What happened last round doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And with dice, hate to break it to everybody, red and black ratio never matters. Doesn't affect anything unless the dice are fixed. But and as scary as the gambling thing is, how much worse is Bejeweled, where you can actually win infinitely?
Yeah. You just get more points if you do better. And then they have all these power-ups you can buy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going. But then you have other games, the social games like Farmville, where they have timers.
Yeah, any game that has a timer in real life, in like real time, like I'm fine, like because there are timed games like Majora's Mask. That's amazing, but it's not like when I turn off Majora's Mask, the moon is still getting closer to to Termina. So I hate any game because like everyone I've ever talked to, Farmville starts out tons of fun. She's like, oh man, I can plant this how I want. I can design my farm how I want. And then you're like, oh crap, I forgot to check for 2 days, and now I just lost all these plants. They're dead.
It's like
Now
I feel
I'm-
like more than Call of Duty, these are more akin to the MMOs, really.
Yep.
Like they run off this timer and they run off of this treadmill, this endless treadmill.
Yep.
And like it's just all about trying to get you to just like go a little bit further with it. Like
Right.
do that same process one more time. You know.
Right. My guilty pleasure actually is Peggle. So
Yeah.
and
I
it's
like Peggle. And honestly,
that game's
I
actually
like
fun
Peggle.
though. I feel like in some ways.
I
But
enjoy Plants vs Zombies as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, but
I just
yeah.
think a lot of these games are based on fun in the beginning, but because
Yeah.
they're meant to keep you playing, to keep you buying
Yeah.
upgrades or whatever it is. Or I don't know, maybe I've never played Plants vs Zombies a whole lot, so I don't know if there's any way to. Is there ways to pay in that game?
Yeah.
Plants vs Zombies 2.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like that.
Right.
Battle Tetris straddles the line a
I don't
little
know what
bit.
that is.
It's
It's where you have to last longer than the other guy.
yeah, like
Uh-huh.
you get 4 in a row and get a Tetris. It puts,
See, that's a
it
little
puts-
different though. It has a competitive aspect
Exactly.
to
So
it.
that's why
Yeah.
it's still only you only have you have an energy bar and you use up 6 energy every time you play. I have like 25 of them.
Ugh.
And so, but
That's
you
the
can buy
worst.
more energy, you know. And so
No.
it is a shtick. Don't get me wrong. But because I'm going up against somebody, I play it once a month. I go, I want to play Tetris. Play, done, go. Now, granted, I know there are people who like don't do that. And by people, I mean most of their core playing audience. But yeah. So,
Well, that's all I got for that. I think we had like a nice smattering of games and games that appeal for different reasons.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be all for us this week at Frivolous Fandom. But guys, tune in. We're gonna start the YouTube page, and then we're gonna start putting up our senseless streams there, as well as it's gonna be delayed. But we're trying to make these podcasts in a video format, just because I know YouTube is so easy. From like most people are already on YouTube,
Yeah.
so I know it'd be convenient for people to be able to listen to these there.
That and more exposure.
Yeah.
Always not a bad thing.
Yeah. So look for senseless streams. These guys, they're gonna be playing hopefully as many niche titles as they can come up with.
Yeah.
But also, like if you listen to these guys talk, I think you can tell like they enjoy games for different reasons. So they're gonna try to play some games that aren't necessarily fun.
Yeah.
In fact, I can say for a fact, because I was there for the first one, that it wasn't that much fun. The experience was fun,
Yeah.
like doing it with you guys, like recording it was fun, but
I have a
not
hankering
playing.
that we need to watch John troll some people in Archie.
That would be an actual good senseless
I wouldn't
stream.
mind. Yeah. Well, I was gonna
Randomly
say,
messing with people.
I think it'd be funny, John. Just record yourself playing a game, and then we'll cut together like a best of John
Oh my
trolls.
gosh.
Yeah, I would really like to do like the video features on like story driven stuff, and then actually do some streams maybe of some more of that stuff, like some online things, like
Right.
just jumping in there. That would be really cool.
Stuff that's
You
quote
gotta-
unquote more
You gotta
streamable.
piss somebody off so bad that they actually chase you, and then we have to have a montage playing the Benny.
John, I want you to troll somebody so hard they kill themselves. I'm just kidding.
In the game.
In the game. Alt F4 delete game. No. So thanks guys for coming on this week,
Gracias.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, comment,
Yeah,
subscribe.
thank you for having us.
and we will catch you guys next week.